Hey guys, Surgeon here, and welcome to my list of 5 items slash things you should get as a low level player. Now, keep in mind, this is a list, this is my own opinion, but as someone who's a high level and someone who's leveled up in this game a few times, this is 5 things that I think that everyone should be aiming for a multitude of reasons, and I will go into those reasons as we come across whatever the item slash goal is that I'm talking about. So, if you guys do enjoy this video, go ahead and give it a like. If you have suggestions for other kind of videos of this sort, whether it's a tip video, a guide, whatever, go ahead and leave it in the comment section. And always remember, if you want to see more of these videos, let's go ahead and subscribe. Without further ado, let's jump into this list. Number 1, getting full graceful. So, this is probably probably the first goal I would ever tell somebody who just started playing an account. I would tell them, go work on your full graceful set. Why would I tell somebody that? Pretty much whatever you're going to do in this game, whether it's bossing, skilling, maxing, diaries, whatever, you're going to have to do agility at some point in time, right? Well, the graceful set you get from training agility by doing the rooftop agility courses. So, what this set is so good and why I tell people to get this is it's going to actually increase the amount of energy you restore by 30% when you have the entire set equipped. So, you couple that with the drain reduction from a stamina potion, which is when you drink a stamina potion, it will give you 2 minutes of run loss reduction by 70%. So you couple that with a 30% increase in your energy regeneration, and you have a really perfect storm for basically being able to run around and do whatever you need to do. So questing, rune crafting, farming, whatever. Having full graceful is going to make all that easier. Plus, it's going to start your account off with a really high agility level. Like, for the most part, this is going to take you 260 marks of grace, which you get by just crossing obstacles in an actual rooftop agility course. And so it requires 260 of those. And by the time you get all those marks, you're going to be somewhere on average between about 54 and 68 agility. So this is the first thing you do. This is one of the first goals that you accomplish in your account. One, you already have a really high agility level, so you can do a lot of the shortcuts in the game that most low levels can't do, which increases your basic efficiency from being able to get from point A to point B quicker. You're going to have a gear set to help you run around the game more, and on top of that, you have this already done. You're not a high level trying to go and get this at a later point in time, which, fun fact, if you're actually 20 levels above a course that you're doing, you actually get marks of grace at a 20% reduced rate. So I highly recommend that you do this early rather than later and trying to put it off when you have a higher agility level. And as this isn't really a graceful guide, but I would recommend that you do basically levels 1 through 10 at the Gnome Agility course, and then from that point on, you're going to do the best rooftop agility course you can until level 40. So you're going to go from Drainer from 10 to 20, you're going to go Alcarid from 21 to 30, you're going to go Varrock from 31 to 40, and then as soon as you hit 40, you're going to go to the Canifis Rooftop Agility course, which has the highest drop rate of the Marks of Grace. And you're going to basically camp that course until you get enough Marks of Grace for your full graceful set. Like I said, if you are 20 agility levels above the minimum required level for a course, you're going to get a 20% reduced rate of these Marks of Grace. Now, the reason that the Canifis course is the best is because it has the shortest amount of time in between each obstacle, and the way the Marks of Grace are dropped are based on the amount of obstacles that you've actually crossed. So you want to be on the course that has the lowest time in between obstacles to get the most chances at generating those Marks of Grace drops. So, my first recommendation on this list for any new player that's coming into this game, work on your full graceful. It's going to get you a really high agility level. You're going to have a full graceful set, which is going to make doing pretty much anything in this game easier, whether it's skilling, questing, bossing, getting around the game in general. And no one likes doing agility anyway. You may as well get it out of the way ahead of time. Now, before we move on to number 2 on this list, I'm going to go ahead and show you where to go to get your graceful if you've never done it before. So the easiest way to get to where I am right now is if you take a games necklace and you teleport to Birthrope Games area, or just Birthrope on the actual teleport list. It's the first one. What you're going to do is you're going to follow this path down. You're going to run into the bar. There's going to be a trap door in the corner. Go ahead and click on that and climb down. And then you're going to be in the Rogues Guild. You're going to run all the way to the south, and there's going to be this little green achievement diary looking icon on your map. Grace is going to be right there. You can go ahead and trade her, and all your Marks of Grace that you can trade them in right there for either Graceful or Amylase Crystals. Number 2, the Ardy Cloak 1. Now, those of you who've been on my channel before, you know how much of an affinity I have with achievement diaries in general. But I think the Ardy Cloaks in general are very good low-level things to go after, specifically for the teleport that they give you. They give you a teleport to the monastery right to the south of Ardy, and that is an unlimited teleport to get to the other side of White Wolf Mountain until you've gotten, 45 magic to teleport to Camelot or Ring of Dueling or anything like that. This is an unlimited thing that you can use, and the requirements are very minimal. I mean, you can look up on the screen right now. Like, these are very easy requirements to have. I mean, only 15 fishing and 5 thieving. It's very easy to get. And 2 quests you're going to need to get done very early on anyway. But no, this cloak will also give you a 10% reduced, or a 10% chance reduction of being caught while thieving from stalls in Ardy. So it's going to help you get your thieving up as well. And it's going to start you off on the right foot. So I would highly recommend getting this as a low level, very low requirements, very easy to get, and it's going to help give you a very quick teleport to not only a fairy ring, but also to the western side of the map in general. Number 3. On the topic of quick teleportation around the map, let's talk about fairy rings as number 3 on this list. Fairy rings are a quest reward that you get from starting Fairy Tale Part 2. Now notice how I said starting. You do not actually have to have the skills required to actually finish this quest. You merely just need to have the ability to finish every quest prior to this in order to start it up to the point where you access the fairy rings, which is very early on in this quest line. Now, the reason that you want to do this do this quest in particular is because once you have this unlocked, once you have this function unlocked, fairy rings, there are multiple fairy rings spread out through the majority of RuneScape, and it's going to make teleporting around the game very easy. As you can see, I can teleport to Miscellanea, which is way up in the northwestern portions of the map. I can teleport past the Shanty Pass to near the KQ area. I can teleport to Zolandra. I can teleport near Wyverns, Port Sarim, and Pest Control. And it's all using the same relative area. And if you took my advice and you got your Ardy Cloak 1 already, you're going to have that teleport to the monastery, which is very close to a fairy ring, so you can actually access your grand teleportation around the map. So, fairy rings, I will post the requirements to actually do the quest here, but you do not have to have the skill requirements to complete the quest, merely just everything else needed to start the quest. So, fairy rings, number 3 on this list. Again, a very handy teleportation tool for new players, and I would highly recommend if you are new to this game, you unlock these to help you get around the game quicker. Number 4. The Fighter Torso. Oh, those of us who have done this grind before, you know it all too well, and you remember just how much you loved playing Barbarian Assault. In reality, though, this minigame really isn't all that bad. I do not mind playing this minigame at all, and if you've never been here before, if you have no idea what I'm talking about when I say Barbarian Assault, get a Games Necklace and use the second teleport option to go to Barbarian Outpost, which, if you don't have a Games Necklace, you can just go to Camelot or Sears Bank and then make your way to the northwest near where you start, or near where the waterfall quest is, and that's going to bring you right over near Barbarian Outpost. Now, if you've never done this before, you're going to want to talk to Captain Kane right next to the chalkboard, and you're going to go through some tutorials with him. Now, you can't bring any runes or arrows or a cape into Barbarian Assault, so make sure you have that stuff banked. This is obviously not a Barbarian Assault guide, so I'm not going to go into too much detail, but talk to Captain Kane to kind of learn the basics behind how Barbarian Assault works. And the reason that you want to go for a Fighter Torso is that it requires 40 defense to wear, and it has inferior defense stats to that of a rune plate body, and it has a weaker magic defense as well, but it's also much lighter, so you're going to be able to run longer when you have it on. It's also the only chest piece that's actually going to give you some kind of strength bonus that is rivaling the Bandos chest plate. So yes, you're sacrificing some defensive stats, but you're getting a chest plate that's going to give you some strength bonuses, which when you're actually training combat, you're not that worried about defense because you're not really worried about tanking anything. And to be honest, if you're going to tank something, you're probably going to already have like 60 defense or something when you need to start tanking, so you may as well just get a Barrows piece anyway. So the Fighter's Torso is a very good training chest plate to have. Yes, it's a bit of a grind. Yes, it's probably going to take you around 5-ish, 10-ish hours, depending on what kind of teams you get. There's no real requirements to get it. It requires 40 defense to wear. My recommendation is that you have around You got around 50 defense and 60 HP to make yourself less chances of dying in Barbarian Assault. But it's a very good chestplate to have. It's free, and it's going to be probably the best thing you can wear until you get a Barrows chestplate one day. Number 5. I think it would almost be a sin if I didn't talk about this in a goal guide for people starting off. So we're going to talk about it. Barrows gloves, or recipe for disaster, however you want to classify it. I put this as the last one for a reason. This is a very, very long-term goal to go for. But if you've done everything else along the way that I've mentioned in this video so far, you're going to have a pretty good base to start off with, and then it's going to give you a good place to start off going after all these quests for Recipe for Disaster. This is a very long-term goal, but it's a very good long-term goal as a new player to say, I want to get that. Why do you want to do this quest? Why do you want to do Recipe for Disaster? It is going to give you the best in slot gloves pretty much for the entire game. It is better, especially at like lower levels, it's going to be better than anything you're going to have. It's going to be better than Van Brace. It's going to be better than a combat bracelet you're going to see people having. It's going to be better than a lot of things. It's also going to put your account in a very good position because it's going to force you to do a lot of quests because you have to have 175 quest points to complete this quest. You're going to have to train a number of skills, and so you couple that with the amount of quests you're having to do, plus the amount of skills that you're going to have to be training. Once you've gotten these Barrows gloves, you're going to be in a very good position to be able to decide whatever it is you want to do. Plus, you're going to have so much knowledge from the game from having to research all these different quests, go to all these different areas. Once you have the Barrows gloves, it's almost like a rite of passage into saying, I'm no longer new at this game. I have a good idea as to what to actually do. So, last on this list, Barrows gloves. Go for them, set them as a long-term goal, keep them in the back of your mind. Alrighty guys, that's going to do it for me. I hope you guys found these 5 goals to go for as a new player enjoyable and somewhat helpful. Those of you who are kind of new to this game, I know a lot of you have reached out to me in-game, and I appreciate all of that. If you guys ever want to reach out to me, go ahead and just PM me in-game. My private's on, it's Surgeon. It's in the chat bar at the very beginning. Go ahead and reach out to me in-game if you have any questions. I hope you found this guide helpful. I hope you found it entertaining or at least somewhat informational. If you did, go ahead and give it a like. If you want to see more of my content, you can either go to my channel or press the subscribe button. It's going to notify you whenever I release new content, whether that's a tip video, a guide video, a recommendation video, opinion video, progress video, whatever. I release all kinds of stuff. If you want to leave me any feedback, go ahead. That's what the comment section is for. Do that. And with all that being said, y'all, good luck in all of your goals. Happy scaping. Remember to stay motivated. Also, if you've reached out to me in game recently and you wonder why it's taking me forever to respond, look at this. You see how much I'm clicking right now? This is ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous.